her every day for putting me in this position. It would not be appropriate, it would be inappropriate if I don't first recognize why we're here. And on my office wall is the battlefield cross. And on that cross is a helmet and a rifle and dog tags and boots. And under it it says, "No greater love hath any man than to lay down his life for his friends." And when I was called to do this by my mentors, for which Candace, I blame her every day for this, I realized that the battle that, I mean, I was just a nurse. I was just a flight nurse, and I'm a combat veteran, but what I realized was the battle wasn't done. And so as I got up there, I look at that battlefield cross every day. And when people say, "Oh, they said something bad about a donut shop and you," they said, "Oh, they're attacking your character." You know, none of the guys that died on the battlefield would ever say, "Oh, well, I think you ought to quit now. I think someone's calling you names. I think you ought to quit. I think the media is canceling you. I think you ought to quit." Do you think any of them would have said that? I think what they say to us now is, you get up and you fight. And whether that is on your knees in prayer, or whether that is, you know, supporting me and bolstering me up in prayer, because I'll tell you something, I feel your prayers. And on the day that I gave testimony 2 weeks ago, it is true that this bill is about freedom. Because if you can't decide what goes in your body, if you can't decide what kind of medical treatment you have, then I would argue that we're way farther down the line without medical freedom, in our loss of freedom, than we really are aware of. If you can't decide with your provider whether you get a vaccine or don't get a vaccine, or what procedure you're going to have, then where is our freedom? And so for this bill, exactly what I said in my testimony, and that is that this is a freedom bill. You know, I didn't always care. I was one of those that would run in and get my flu shot, you know, and I did it because I'm medical, I'm healthcare. And we didn't fight for our healthcare providers back then, but apparently what a lot of people, and that's 50 organizations, you guys. And I won't name all of them, but I will tell you they're the Ohio Hospital Association, so most of the hospitals associated with them, the children's hospitals, they don't believe that healthcare workers and other people, even though you can make decisions, they can make medical decisions with you in the office, they're not allowed to make their own medical decisions. So at one point when we carved out a group of us that no longer got to have freedom, we began, remember the saying, the socialist came from my neighbor, and I didn't do anything when the socialist came from my neighbor, and then the socialist came from my other neighbor. And when they came for me, there was no one to fight for me. So it is our time, and it is our time to understand that 248 isn't about vaccines, guys. It's about freedom. And so for me, when on those days that I wonder, you know, why am I there? I know that we have a great cloud of witnesses that cheers us on to continue to fight for the heart of who we are as Americans and in our soil as Ohioans. You know, I ate the zucchini and the tomatoes, and I grew up, my mom is here, my dad passed away in July, and the flowers he planted last year are still blooming this year. But I will tell you, to the heart of the soil of who we are as Americans is what we have to fight for, and we have to reach down. And we don't say, "Oh my gosh, you know, we should be afraid. We should be very afraid." You've got to dig down and you got to go, "I'm fighting that battle. I'm fighting that battle with Patriot America. I'm fighting that battle with Jennifer Gross, Candace Keller, and all the people that are fighting for freedom." And remember that in our history, not all the people that fought in those 13 colonies were with us. It was still a small percentage, just like these patriots that are here today. We all have to dig down, and we've got to fight, and we've got to find that gall and courage, absolutely, that we need to be able to fight the battle. So I need more than anything your prayers. I need more than anything for you to say, you know, get up, keep fighting. And I've had over 2,000 emails, phone calls to my office. I've had to get a page. I've had to get more staff because so many people are writing. So if you have friends that are outside of this district, that are outside of Warren County, if you have friends that are all over the state, you tell them, this is not about vaccines, guys. This is about freedom. If you want to get a vaccine, I've gotten them all. I've had the anthrax series. You know, I'm a veteran, so I've had them all. I've had Hep A, Hep B, all of it. If you want to get it, get it. That's not the point. The point is that if you don't want to get it, you should be able to choose not to and not be coerced. And not be coerced by having to pay school loans, so you got to keep your job. I just got an email yesterday from a healthcare provider from Cleveland Clinic. We're so afraid we cannot write you publicly. We are so afraid. You know, maybe 20 or 30% of the healthcare workers want that choice, and that's fine. But when you're afraid to speak up that you're going to lose your job, I would argue that that is a coercion that is beyond what we can tolerate as Americans. So, you know, I guess first and lastly too, you know, small businesses were harmed during all of this. There's been a great transfer of wealth from the small business to the big business this year. And we've got to support our small businesses, because it is the small businesses who are willing to give us the freedom that we so desire, and 85% of all the jobs in Ohio are small business. But you see, we attack the small business, and now the big business is forcing what? You don't get a vaccine, you wear a mask. You know, so anyway, so I appreciate you so much, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And I want to say one more thing. If you want to grow your faith, run for office. Because I'll tell you something, that God has grown me beyond where I ever thought I could be. Running for office, whether it's Central Committee, whether it's every county office. We had 24 offices that ran this year. 4 were contested. 4. 20 people walked on with no competition, and don't think we're smarter than you are, because we're not. I'm just common. You just need courage. So thank you.
Cheryl Burnett, please come up here.
While they're getting ready to come back, I just want to let you know, as if you don't know, it's not like I'm, you know, vague about things. This $1 million lottery. So we create all the designs of the T-shirts. We own the rights to all that, and so we created all those. So you can't find any of these T-shirts anywhere. So anyway, this says I'm worth more than $1 million. Yeah. And we had that put on a T-shirt because it's not a nice subliminal way to say that was an insane decision, Governor DeWine, to give $1 million away when all the businesses are going under. And so I just wanted to let you know that. And while they're getting ready, I want to ask Emilio Vega to come up here for just a second. He's a guy I just met not long ago. He is an immigrant from Cuba. He came here 10 years ago, I believe, 15 years ago. He is now an American citizen. He loves this country. He loves Donald Trump, and he is absolutely horrified at what is happening in our nation. And I do a podcast every Wednesday morning, and I'm going to be interviewing Emilio about what it is like to grow up under socialism, because some of the things that he has said to me have been very eye-opening for me. So I just wanted, Emilio, I'm going to ask you to speak from your heart for just a couple minutes about what it means to you that we hold on to our nation right now.
I want to thank Candice and Jennifer Groves, first of all, and I wanted to tell you that my family and I are very grateful for being in this country, and you should always be proud and love your country with all your heart. Don't let brainwash your brain. I admire Candice and Jennifer. They're great leaders. They got our backs, that's for sure. They're leading from the front, and I do admire that a lot. Well, my name is Emilio Vega. I've been in the United States will be 14 years now. My dad came here in 1994 in a raft. he pretty much people like that get out from my country rather die that live in free everything. You know, so if you see somebody tell you you get free schooling, free Medicare, or whatever, run away, because that's what we do. We run away. Free is not good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. That's just what I think. It's I mean, well, when I was, I'm kind of, I didn't expect this at all. Oh, they can barely hear me. Okay. How to live in Cuba is okay. This is simple. A 5-year-old son. My son is 6 now. Well, in Cuba, he wouldn't get to drink milk at this age. They will take your milk away when you're 5-year-old. 5-year-old. Right now, you can barely get bread in Cuba because they're taking your bread away. And everything that is happening here today is kind of the same thing. Like when the pandemic hit, we had all these long lines, people waiting to get food. Well, at least we have to thank God because we have food. We have to go through the lines, but we got food. Well, in Cuba, you make the long lines and you don't even get to have food or egg or anything really. Like me, when I was a kid, I was with water with sugar from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to school. Do you think somebody can learn like that? My brain won't even get everything that the teacher is trying to teach me. You know, I'm starving while I'm taking a class. I'm sleeping because my body is not responding, so I just fall asleep. I mean, everything that I do, and I'm getting passionate now, and you guys got me to talk. And so, when I get like this, I just let it all out because it's frustrating because I see my son, and you believe that I might be saying this because of my family itself. No, it's because of all of you. Honestly, it's not easy to just see your kid struggling. I don't do anything for me. I told this everywhere I go. Everything I do is for my wife, my son, and my family. And the reason why I don't get how Democrats can be destroying their own country is I don't get that. I would never understand that because you're an American and you're in office, you're a Democrat because this country gave you the opportunity to be where you are today. You should be representing the people that you supposed to be voted for you in the first place. You know, this is the country that gives you the opportunity to run for office pretty much for free, to represent people. So they are free. You can go to school for free if you're smart. You don't. How Democrats are gonna tell me that, or like they want paying like 4 years scholarship if I take the vaccine? No, if I go and get this scholarship 4 years free, it's because I earn it. It's because I'm smart. It's because I work for it. And my father and my mom did everything they could to put me ahead in life. Know what they do in a communist country like my country? You know, you speak like, and this is real story. What Jennifer Grove was mentioning in the donut place in Westchester, I was there, and 5 minutes before the cop came in to kick us out, which by the way, that's communism. I'm sorry, but that's it. If you don't know, talk to me later. That's communism, period. I was there, and 5 minutes before the cops came in to kick us out, I told this to Jennifer Gross. I told her like this, you know, if we do this same thing in Cuba, we could go to jail right now. Like they can come and cuff us and just take us or disappear just the same way they do in any dictatorship country, like China, Nicaragua, Venezuela, anywhere, Cuba, of course. In 5 minutes, I don't know if it was from God that he want her to see what was going on. You know, a lot of you, I understand that you may think that communism won't ever get here. I got a lot of American friends that they think I'm crazy. But what I'm seeing is because I already went through it. And I saw my grandfather, my grandma, my mom, my dad to struggle in life, rather die in the sea, eaten by the sharks, than actually go against the tyranny. Because you know what they do in a communist country when you go against them? Even if you speak something, they will put you in jail. You know, in Cuba, if you try to eat a shrimp or they see you selling shrimps in the streets, you go to jail for 15, 10, 20, 30 years because they wanted to put you there because you're breaking the law. You see, guys, you have a blessing country. We just need to work together. This is not time to be complaining. This is not time to stay back. This is not time for fear. I'm not even afraid of anything. I'm just looking like you are probably looking like a lot of you are looking. It's for real patriots that can get the wine out of the office, get all these dictators out of the office. That's what they are, really. That's what they are. We cannot allow that. Okay, this is a free country and we have to keep it this way, and I'm willing to die if I have to for this country, and I want you to know that. Because in the media, they say the Latino community voted for Democrats. You know, let me tell you something. Go to Miami, Florida right now, and I'll tell you right now, my people from Cuba and Venezuelans and a lot of Puerto Ricans and a lot of other Latinos, they voted for Trump. They support and love this country. And never forget that. Don't let the media tell you what they want you to think or the way they want you to think. They want to brainwash you. That's what I'm telling you. Don't let them. Don't let them. Stop. But we do have to work together. We do have to work together. I'm so in love with this country. I cannot express with words everything I feel for this country. We just have to keep moving forward together as the United States of America. That's all. That's all. Please, God bless you all. And remember, you're an American, we are patriots, and we're going to fight to keep this country better than what the Democrats are trying to make it.